itself all the way up, over and back, over and back, over and back, over and back. Okay? We will then change.
You said we have to do 9,000 shots.
Yes, in total. So 3,000 with your first movement. That was your first movement. Your second movement, we then change to our domed head, to our focal point.
Cone head, sorry.
Our focal head now is going to be doing our spiralling movements, go down to the lymph. So this is then the treatment side. We're going to come onto the area, we're going to circle and needle down to the lymph. Okay? So we do this again for 3,000 shots until all of that shot allowance is completely stopped on the area. Then again, back over. Okay? We just keep going and going and going and going and going. Then we swap back over to flathead. Once on flathead, again 3,000 shots, but now our lymph movement, just our stroking, just movement, yeah, just to drain the fluid off the area.
Okay.
Okay. So the client's always going to have glycerine gel on them. If they haven't got glycerine gel on, sometimes we use like a fat activator cream. So a fat activator cream we pop on, and it activates and goes into the cells to kind of help push fluid through, and then leaves kind of like a thermal warming there for a couple of hours. Slightly a bit like deep heat, you know, for like muscle sprains. Okay. So Shockwave screen, we've got our Shockwave pedal, because as soon as we put our foot on that pedal, then the Shockwave is going to alternate itself out of the actual handpiece. So do you want to gather around so you can see the screen? So we will then go into our body option for our Shockwave. Our Shockwave is our ketone Shockwave from here. So you're always going to link up your pad into Shockwave. Okay. Now we have our joules. Yeah. So our joules are going to be at the highest joules we can deliver through, because we really want to make sure that we're getting that vibration completely through. So we're going to go up to 120. Okay. Our hertz delivery is the power output of how quick this delivers out the Shockwave. So if we're at 1, then the Shockwave is just going to be like doof, doof, doof. The higher we go, the quicker intensity we then have of that hertz delivery per second it's coming out of the Shockwave delivery. Okay, so we can go up to 16, so we will sit it at 16. You will only have this pulled down if you were then going to go on and do, say, your muscle treatments we were talking about yesterday, in conditions like around the knee joint, the lymphatic around the ankle, or say if you're getting a scalpel point for the knots and nodules. As soon as we're ready, we're going to count our shot allowance in. So how many shots have we got per movement? 3,000. So we'll count for 3,000. Here is then now where it's going to count us down. So as soon as we start, this will just keep counting down to tell you how many shots you've got left on that movement. As soon as it goes back to 0, that's the movement then finished, because then it will restart itself again. This is then telling you here the total count from your handpiece. Okay, so it's always going to count every single shot we then deliver through.
So basically over the course of a month, this can go to 100,000.
Yeah, that's it. And you can count that, it will tell you all here for you.
Right now it has like...
So as soon as you turn it on, that handpiece in this machine has got that many counts.
Yeah.
If you were to have a second Shockwave and take this handpiece off and put the other handpiece in, it will count that handpiece. So each individual handpiece has a different time allowance. It's not the machine.
So usually how good is that? How long
We
is that
say a
head
million
good for?
shots.
Okay.
We say a million shots.
Million
Some
shots,
Some have gone over, but I can't give you that guarantee. I just have to give you the guideline of a million shots. If you go over, that's absolutely fine. But when it does stop, it will literally, you will hear the hertz delivery slowing. So you'll be at 16 and you'll hear that duh, 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 and it's starting to slow down. So then you think, well, hang on a minute. Yeah.
So in terms of the intensity, right, the hertz you're recommending for 1 is better or 16 is better?
16 for your hertz is better. So look, this is the difference in terms. So 16, if I was to press start, that's 16.
Oh,
Okay. If I then come down, so say if I now come down to 10, that's 10. Slower.
So,
Okay.
so 16 is better, right?
Yeah, that's it. Because it's quickeningly coming out. So per minute and literally per delivery, we're getting more hertz come through. So we're getting more persistence. If we get more persistence, the area is then being worked on quicker, which is then going to quicken up the process of what we're delivering. So now we're on 6. Okay, slower. If you were working, say, around the back and the scalpel area, for kind of like knots and nodules, into the area you're treating. Okay, so you can be quite specific on your shots.
ऊपर सेकंड फ्लोर पे 3D एरिया में आते हैं सेकंड फ्लोर में जहाँ पे उनसे पूछा 3 लाइकों कहाँ होंगे?
we have to be sure to put in 3,000.
Yeah.
1500 comes something in between, somewhere in between, right?
No, it's 3,000 shots for each movement. On the abdomen area, we keep on going, so there's no break. So it'll be 3,000. On the leg,
We do the
it'll be
3,000,
1,500 for the grid here,
and then
1,500 grid there. That's your 3,000. Then again, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. That's how we split it on the legs. So you couldn't do 3,000 continuing on that leg, so obviously we've got to split it between the two. Yeah.
Quick question. Somebody like him, what would you recommend him for the number of treatments? to be
I'd
taken?
recommend him at least 8 to 10 treatments on cavitation, radio frequency, shockwave. Until I've probably got down to his 6th session. Hopefully by then, this area, his waistline's going to start coming in, which then I would then go through. I may see a pocket then form at the bottom here,
Okay.
so I may then start cryoing the abdominals.
So you apply the cryo maybe after the 6th
Yeah,
session?
this is it, because he's got bulk.
Okay.
So if he's got bulk,
So if I was a portly, for example,
Yeah.
so you do the same thing?
yeah, do the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do cavitation all the way over until your inch loss started coming in.
Okay.
So until you start getting the waist form and you were flatter here. As soon as you're then flat here, I can then start cryoing you in, and then you probably have a little pocket form at the bottom, because there's cryo your pocket off. Where if I was to cryo him now, he's got too much bulk. I'm probably going to wait
So
for the
it's a
little
little
fat
weird.
parts,
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah.
So if I then pull the bulk production down fast, then go in and use my cryo to sculpt instead.
Good.
Okay?
Look at the expression on his face.
He's loved it. He's absolutely loved it. Continually. Okay, so on to area. Okay, it's loud.
Excuse me, skipper.
Literally, one more flat in the area. Probably just need 15 more.
Do you have to follow any special thing or do this random?
Okay, so that's first grid.
Yeah.
I will now continue going on my grid. So now I'm going to come back this way.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will go back over until 3,000 shots have emptied. Okay, who wants to have a go?
Oh.
Okay, so we go on to skin, on to pedal.
First call skin. And
Yeah.
then-
That's it.
अजीब जे तू पैसे देते हो ना तो जो ना परेशान ना होता
Now we're going to back over. So we do grid first, then we'll come over. Okay, we want to be coming from side to side. Okay, to catch up. No, split that.
Like
Done
this,
that.
vertical.
So
Vertical.
now we're going to come here, bottom pedal.
बाइक चला रहे हैं आराम से रहना मजा आ रहा है
वो एक्चुअली वो उसका वजन के साथ खाया ना
इसकी कैसी फीलिंग है
आप कितना प्रेशर लगा रहे हो
प्रेशर
इसका अपना इतना वेट है